Hey, this is Vinyl Keith coming at you with another video, and today we're going to do Powerslave from Iron Maiden. Continue the Iron Maiden series I've started. Powerslave is probably, in my opinion, if you leave out the Stones and leave out Black Sabbath and the Bon Scott era from AC/DC, okay? I think Powerslave is probably the greatest studio record maybe of all time, in my opinion. Okay, this is just my opinion. Now, as far as Maiden goes, the Di'Anno era is right behind this album. It would be Powerslave 1, Killers 2, and the debut 3, in my opinion. Then followed by Peace of Mind and Number of the Beast. You know, I said, I think in the last video I did for Maiden that, you know, the golden era of Maiden is the 80s. But I think from 80 to 85 is the true golden era. That's like their peak. I don't think they've ever topped the first 5 albums. Not that everything after this is not good. It's fantastic. I love all Maiden. I even like the Blaze Bayley stuff. Now, they're going to be the bottom 2 if I had to rank all the albums. Maybe it was Fear of the Dark. Yeah, but they've never... this was their peak, in my opinion. Okay? They never did any... They haven't topped this. Okay? Killers is close. The debut is close. You know, but there's nothing in the catalog beats this. I don't think, as far as studio albums. This was released September 3rd, 1984. Certified platinum here in the United States. Certified gold in the UK. Platinum here in the States means it sold 1 million copies. Gold in the UK means 100,000 copies. I think that's what it said, yeah. But anyway, great album. It charted at number, let's see, got to put my readers on because I'm old. It charted at number 2 in the UK and number 21 on the Billboard 200 here in the States. Okay, it spawned 2 singles, Aces High and 2 Minutes to Midnight. Here's a track list. Oh, that's side 2, my bad. Aces High, 2 Minutes to Midnight, Lots for Words. I can't read it backwards. Flash of the Blade, and The Duelist, side 1. Side 2 is Back in the Village, the title track Powerslave, and the epic 13.5-minute Rime of the Ancient Mariner. Okay, this is let me show you the back cover. The artwork on this is unbelievable. This may be the pinnacle of what Derek Riggs painted. You know, all these are paintings, his album covers. And I don't think he ever topped this. If you look, the detail on this is unreal. Even with the little people walking up the steps. You know, you've got all the Egyptian stuff down the side. Trees here. It's unbelievable. In my opinion, he's never topped this artwork. And this is an original copy because I can tell because it's a textured cover. Okay, only the first pressings had a textured cover. And I don't know if this is EMI or Capitol because it has both. It says Capitol here and EMI here. So I'm not really sure. Even the inner sleeve is good. Okay. There's a picture of the band. With that sarcophagus. All the lyrics. And yeah, it's all just lyrics. credits too over here down. But yeah, pretty cool. Custom label on the record. Iron Maiden Powerslave. This has long been, you know, like I said, one of my, probably my favorite Maiden album. But Giano's starting to catch up a little bit. I love Killers and the debut just about as much. But this is always, I've always considered this the pinnacle of Iron Maiden right here. This album and Live After Death, that came the following year. And I'm going to cover Live After Death in this video too, because that was the tour for Powerslave is what it was. So, fantastic record, man. I absolutely love this. This is an album, one of those albums I never, ever, ever get tired of. I can put it on and just jam, bang my head the whole way through. It's perfect. This is what I would call a perfect album. Perfect. I wouldn't change a damn thing about it. Nothing. Nothing at all. And I've got another copy of this. I'm not sure. I guess it's not a bootleg because it's, if you look, it's from the RCA Music Service. Back in the day, you know, back in the 70s and 80s or whatever, you could join these clubs like RCA or Columbia, and they send you 11 records or 11 tapes, whatever you do, for a penny. And then you have to buy, I don't know, 2 or 3 or 5, whatever it was, over the following 3 years at normal price. But, you know, at the beginning you got, what, like 11 or 12 albums for a penny, plus shipping. And, but yeah, I think that I used to do that when I was a kid. I did it a couple times, and my dad just threw a fit. It's like signing a contract. Well, you know, he's right. But I'm a kid. I don't give a shit. I just want the 11 album. That's how I discovered Heaven and Hell. But anyway, yeah, this is the original textured cover, and this is the RCA Music Service version. If you notice, there's color differences. On the original, it's gold. The band logo is gold. And on the RCA version, it's yellow. And same thing with the title of the album. Powerslave's in gold here. It's in yellow up there. And I just recently realized that. I've had this for quite a few years. The RCA version of it. Didn't think much of it. Okay. As far as, you know, I was told it might be a bootleg when I bought it. And because this album doesn't stay in stock anywhere. At least at everybody's. You know, they never have it. And recently there was an Iron Maiden collection that came in. That's how I got all those Harvest ones in the early, like the first 2 or 3. I had Harvest versions. That's how I got this first pressing out of that collection. Because I had this for years. And I tell you, there's no difference in the sound quality. So this RCA one's an official pressing. It's just distributed through the RCA Music Club back in the day. But, you know, I didn't notice till recently the color difference in the band name and the album title. I thought that's kind of neat. But everything else is the same track list, obviously. But yeah. I wonder why that's different. Kind of weird. But it don't matter. They both sound great. Like I said, this has probably been my favorite Maiden album for so many, you know, ever since it came out, to be honest with you. Can't say enough good things about it. Powerslave. And I've got a couple of singles from the album. the two that were released. Okay, you know I'm going to have the singles. This is some great artwork. Aces High. 12-inch single. And the B-sides are King of Twilight, and which is a studio cut. And the Number of the Beast live, it just says live version. Oh, and incidentally, Powerslave was produced by Martin Birch. He did all the 80s albums except for the debut. I'll show you the record on this. EMI. There's Aces High on side 1. And King of Twilight and the live version Number of the Beast on side 2. Love this artwork. Maiden has got the best artwork of anybody. Well, I'll put that away later. I've also got, or have, 2 Minutes to Midnight. Killer track. And it's got one of my all-time favorite B-sides from Iron Maiden. There's 2 B-sides that I like a ton. And I told you about this before. I'm a big fan of Women in Uniform. That was released in between his debut and Killers. It didn't really turn up on either album. But the B-side for 2 Minutes to Midnight is another one I love called Rainbow's Gold. I forget who did that. Cannot remember. I can't look it up right now because, you know, I use the phone because I don't have a computer here. So, in the next video I do for Maiden, I'll correct that and tell you who originally did Rainbow's Gold. Also on the B side is Mission from Erie. And what that was like a staged argument between Nico McBrain and I believe Steve Harris. And it's a kind of a comedy thing. Pretty funny. But yeah, 2 Minutes to Midnight with Rainbow's Gold, which, God, I love that B-side. I could listen to that B-side over and over. I love it. Check out the album, and it's like Aces High, same kind of label. 2 Minutes on EMI. 2 Minutes to Midnight. And there's Rainbow's Gold and Mission from Erie. Killer artwork on this stuff. Okay, now we covered Powerslave, let's get into Live After Death, because this, you know, this is the Powerslave tour, is what this was. So, and this has got probably the best cover of every Maiden album that exists. This is my all-time favorite album cover. It doesn't get any better than that. Powerslave, yeah, there's a lot of detail in that. But this just looks cool as hell. Eddie busting out of the grave. Looks like lightning struck him in the head. Badass. There's the back cover. And this is a great, great concert. Great sounding live album. And I just noticed this is also from the RCA Music Service. But I've had this a lot longer than that other Powerslave I showed you. You know, look, that's the RCA Music Service. Because I just noticed there's no barcode. So, yeah. 17 songs. Starts off with Churchill's speech. Goes into Aces High, 2 Minutes to Midnight, The Trooper, Revelations, That's an underrated song. Revelations, Flight of Icarus, Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner, Powerslave, The Number of the Beast, Hallowed Be Thy Name, Iron Maiden, Run to the Hills, Running Free. That was all done at Long Beach Arena. Then at the Hammersmith Odeon in 1984, side 4, that's what that is, the Hammersmith, is Wrathchild, 22 Acacia Avenue, Children of the Damned, Die With Your Boots On, and Phantom of the Opera to end it. Fantastic album. So the first 3 sides were recorded at Long Beach Arena in California, and side 4 was recorded at the Hammersmith Odeon over in the UK, England, or wherever the hell that is. This is also produced by Martin Birch. I could look at this album cover for forever. It is so sweet. And there's some great live shots in here. Look at that. Can you imagine being at this show? Look at that. My God. This is a band I wish I could have seen in their heyday. I haven't seen them. Still haven't seen them. I was hoping they were going to come to Cincinnati on this current tour they're on. I think it's called the Run for Your Lives tour, and they're only doing songs from the debut through Fear of the Dark. But they're not coming anywhere near Cincinnati, and I work a full-time job. I can't really get away to do that, to go to another city. I don't know. That's just too expensive for me, I think. So one of these days, hopefully they come to Cincinnati before they hang it up, and maybe I can see them. But my God, I would have loved to have seen this tour. This was Iron Maiden at their pinnacle right here. I've read before that the Powerslave tour was 187 shows around the world. Fantastic, fantastic live album. The only one that beats this, in my opinion, is Beast Over Hammersmith. That's probably the only live album they've done that's better than this. And that was from the Number of the Beast tour, by the way. And that you can only get that on vinyl only if you've got that. I showed it to you. That 40th anniversary of Number of the Beast. And it's a 3 LP set. And it comes with Hammersmith Odeon. But yeah, anyway. God, this is good. Great album. Iron Maiden at their peak. And I've got a single from that live album, Live After Death. They released 2. I've got 1. I've got the Running Free live single. And on the back, there's 2, or on the B side, there's 2 songs live that didn't appear on Live After Death. And they were recorded the B-sides were recorded at the Hammersmith Odeon in London in October of 84. Where Running Free was recorded in March of 85. I think that's when this all was recorded, March of 85. So Running Free comes from the Live After Death album, and The Sanctuary and Murders in the Rue Morgue were from a different show, Hammersmith Odeon, same tour, but they did not appear on Live After Death. So that's kind of cool. Isn't that a cool live shot? Looks like they're at the end of the show, saying goodbye. There's the boss, Steve Harris. Bruce. Pretty cool, I think. Let's see what the record looks like. And it's got the EMI label like those other 2 singles from Powerslave. But this has got like a maroon colored label. Interesting. I don't know what that means. I guess I can look it up on Discogs and all that, but I don't really get into looking up things on Discog. I really don't care how much my records are worth. I know it sounds weird, but I don't. Because I don't plan on selling them. You know? This is what I'm going to do when I retire in another 13 months. My record collection. That's my entertainment. Okay, now. I've got a bootleg from the Powerslave era. Of course, it's from Evil Dead. Hey, look at that. The mummified Eddie standing on top of a building in New York City. In fact, it's called the New York Slavery Tour. So this was recorded live at the Radio City Music Hall in New York on the 17th of January, 1985. Doesn't have as many tracks as Live After Death, even though it's from the same tour. This one has 13. Live After Death has 17. I don't know what. Well, I know why, because Live After Death was actually 2 shows put together, like I just told you. But anyway, here's the track list. I'm going to just read it to you. It's easier for me. Ace is High, 2 Minutes to Midnight, The Trooper, Revelations, Flight of Icarus, and Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner. That's the first LP. The second LP starts off with Powerslave and then the guitar solo. The Number of the Beast, Hallowed Be Thy Name, Iron Maiden, Run to the Hills, Running Free, and Sanctuary. I love the album artwork. It's just so cool. And I just noticed again that this is the first Evil Dead Iron Maiden bootleg that I have. Like if you go in chronological order, this is the first one with like a lot of color in it besides green. And you know how the other ones have got that faded green tint to it, to the whole album cover? This one kind of matches the Powerslave colors. Well, a little bit. Maybe Live After Death more than anything. Here's the back. Evil Dead Records. Now, this differs from all the other Evil Dead that I've got. You know how the other ones have all the lyrics on the inside when I open it up and show you? This one doesn't. Okay? But it does have all these cool live shots. So this kind of looks like more like a licensed record, really, in my opinion. Just from this gatefold. Really cool stuff. I believe, let me see, I don't know if it's on colored vinyl or not. I can't remember. No, it's black. I'll just show you one. You know, it's got the Evil Dead logo. That reminded me of the Misfits. Killer album. Just like the other ones, you know, you gotta mess with EQ a little bit. But I gotta tell you, this is one of the better sounding ones of all the Evil Dead I have of Maiden. This one here is one of the better sounding ones. It might be the best sounding one. Except for that, other than that, the one from the Killers tour that said On Air, remember that one? That was a soundboard. Okay, this one is audience recording, so. But out of all the audience ones, recordings, this probably sounds the best. Which I'm really happy about because it's my favorite era, Powerslave. But yeah, there you go. That's what I've got on Powerslave. 2 copies of Powerslave. The 2 singles they released. Then Live After Death. I've got the Running Free single. And then this bootleg. And that does it for Powerslave. Next, I'll be covering what comes after Powerslave, Somewhere in Time. And incidentally, I just got a new Iron Maiden shirt that covers the Somewhere in Time era, so it's got that version of Eddie on the front, so it's pretty cool looking. And I also ordered I ordered 3 Iron Maiden shirts yesterday. And one is the Powerslave one. And it's got the whole front cover of Powerslave on it. The Egyptian thing with the steps in front of it. It's pretty cool. I also got if you ever seen the picture of the Twilight Zone single from Killers, the picture of the cover of that lady sitting in front of the mirror, and then there's a ghost. There's a ghost in the mirror that's standing behind her. So I've got that on a shirt that's coming. And the Killer shirt I have is a large. And I wear extra large. So it's always really tight on me. So I ordered another Killer shirt that looks just like that one. So I've got 3 new Maiden shirts coming. So in future videos, you'll see them. That Twilight Zone is really cool. I like it. I also ordered an AC/DC shirt because I've never had an AC/DC shirt, believe it or not. Never in my life. So I thought, I got to remedy that, especially because I'm doing AC/DC right now, too. So I got that coming. I've got a Thin Lizzy shirt coming because I've never had a Thin Lizzy shirt. And I plan on doing some Thin Lizzy videos coming up. And what else I'll order? Oh, I've got a shirt. I just say it's a Blue Oyster Cult shirt, but it says More Cowbell with a picture of the cowboy under it. Pretty cool. I just associate that with Blue Oyster Cult because, that Saturday Night Live thing they did. More cowbell. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, but anyway, that was Powerslave. Hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, I'll do Somewhere in Time, I guess tomorrow. And then the only one after that the Eddies to do is Seventh Son of a Seventh Son. Like I said, after that, I'm going to take a break from Iron Maiden because all the 80s will be done. And I'll save the rest of Iron Maiden for future videos I'll do down the road. Because like I said, I want to cover some other bands I've got. Thin Lizzy's one of them. That's why I ordered the shirt. But anyway, there you go. That's Powerslave. Until next time.